I don't know how to say his name. How do you say that? How do you say that?
Ingram.
Ingram?
Ingram.
Ingram.
Ingram. Ingram.
Ingram. It's spelled Graham. Oh, whatever. This took place in April 1997. Not in 1997, I'm autistic. This took place in April 19th, 1977. Ingram v. Wright started because a student in 8th grade at Ingram got 20 licks with a paddle, and the president school for a week after getting a... I don't know how to say that either.
Hematoma.
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 Hematoma. Had to leave school for a week. Licks with a paddle in the principal's office, injuring him so bad he had to leave school for a week after getting a hematoma. A pool of blood in the buttocks. Like under the skin. Key people involved were Lewis Powell. Actually, it doesn't matter. I don't know who he is. Let's say so. Key people involved were, of course, James Ingram, the 8th grade student, who was in 1970 paddled by the principal. Oh, okay. Key people are James Ingram. I don't even need to say that. Oh, this is stupid. I'm restarting. Ingram versus Wright took place in April 19th, 1977, and started because a 8th grade student, Ingram, got 20 licks with a paddle, injuring him so bad that he had to leave school for a week after getting a hematoma. Ingram claimed that the practice of corporal punishment in schools violated both the 8th Amendment's ban on cruel and unusual punishment and the 14th Amendment guarantee of due process, as the school did not inform children or give them a proper hearing prior to their punishment. The case centered around James Ingram, who was in 1970 paddled by the principal, Willie J. Wright. Ingram versus Wright. While being restrained by Lee Guilford and Solomon Barnes, the assistant principal, and the vice principal, and the vice principal's assistant. I'll cut that out in editing. Wright argued that it wasn't cruel nor unusual due to it being the normal punishment for misfits, and the court ruled that Ingram's 8th nor 14th Amendment was not being infringed. The United States Supreme Court case that upheld the disciplinary corporal punishment policy of Florida's public schools voted against Ingram in a 5-4 vote. The significance of this case shows how students versus school cases are often biased towards the school due to the fact that Congress often makes laws for the schools that are already constitutional. Ingram versus Wright took place in April 19th, 1977, because the 8th grade student, Ingram, was paddled 20 times, injuring him so bad he had to leave school for a week after getting a hematoma. Ingram claimed that the practice of corporal punishment in public schools violated both the 8th Amendment's ban on cruel and unusual punishment and the 14th Amendment's guarantee of due process, as he did not provide school children with the notice of a hearing prior to imposition of the punishment. This is fucking awful. I'm gonna kill myself. Ingram versus Wright took place in 1977. Come on. Ingram was right started because an 8th grade student, Ingram, got 20 licks with the paddle, injuring him so bad he got a hematoma, which means he had to leave school for a week. Ingram claimed that the practice of corporal punishment in schools both violated the 8th Amendment's ban on cruel and unusual punishment and the 14th Amendment guarantee of due process. As it did not provide school children with the notice of a hearing prior to imposition of the punishment. The case centered on James Ingram, who was in 1970 paddled by Principal Willie J. Wright while being restrained by some other people that don't really matter. I don't know why I wrote them down. No, this is a fucking disaster. The CIA assassinated John F. Kennedy. My case is Ingram versus Wright, which took place on April 19, 1977. Ingram v. Wright started because a 8th grade student, Ingram, got 20 licks with a paddle, injuring him so bad he had to leave school for a week after getting a hematoma. Ingram claimed that the practice of corporal punishment in public schools violated both the 8th Amendment, ban on cruel and unusual punishment, and the 14th Amendment's guarantee of due process, as he was not noticed and he did not have a hearing. The case centered on James Ingram, who was, in 1970, paddled by the principal, Willie J. Wright, while being restrained by the vice principal, Solomon Barnes. Wright argued that it wasn't cruel nor unusual due to it being the normal punishment for misfits. The court ruled that Ingram's 8th nor 14th Amendment was being infringed. The United States Supreme Court case that upheld the disciplinary corporal punishment policy of Florida's public school system voted against Ingram in a 5-4 vote. The significance of this case shows that student versus school cases are often biased towards the school, because the schools are doing what the fucking state says. This is stupid as shit. I'm gonna kill a fucking child.